This program likely aims to explore and integrate cutting edge
Accounting Association IAA. She has been contributing to academia since 2011, having served as an assistant professor at institutes like Central University of Rajasthan and Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Jalandhar, before joining the Central University of Punjab in 2020. Dr. Verma's research spans the area of finance and accounting and journal management. Her interests include merger and acquisitions, cryptocurrency market, corporate fraud, and health insurance. Apart from the numerous publication and research projects, she has been recognized with awards like Best Paper Award at the SIFI International Conference on Risk Management in Banks and Financial Markets 2020. Dr. Verma has active, actively participated in international conferences, sharing her insights on topics like the impact of COVID-19 on stock market and the dynamic of the cryptocurrency market. As a matter, she has guided PhD. As a mentor, she has guided PhD candidates and supervised more than 30 dissertations for postgraduate students. Her research work has been published in reputed journals, showcasing her contribution to the academic community. Noteworthy publications including articles on cryptocurrency market, corporate governance, and the impact of COVID-19 on global financial market. Dr. Verma has actively participated in institutional building, serving in roles such as coordinator of the Department of Commerce and contributing to various academic communities. She has delivered keynote address and talks on the topic ranging from business ethics to goods and services tax, GST law in India. Apart from her academic achievements, Dr. Verma has received recognition as a subject matter expert at TCS Ion Tata Consultancy Services. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Verma for continuing the session with her knowledge. Dr. Verma.
Thank you for giving the introduction. And first of all, a very warm welcome to all of you in this FDP, which is organized specifically for the STEM professional. And I am very thankful to the organizer of this team that they have given me the opportunity to talk on the recent issues in this FDP. So I will not take much time. I am going to start sharing my screen. So today we will talk about the very fundamental topic of the FDP, that is the fundamental of research and research ethics. Now, when we talk about this research, this term is getting very important as the time is enhancing, or we can say that we are going toward the modernization and all. So this term is very much enhancing term, research. That means we are going to look toward the what already done in the particular area on the particular subject or in the particular field. That means now we are going to re-explore the dimensions in that particular subject area field. So today we will talk about what are the fundamental of research and research ethics. When we talk about this word, this research word is, my screen is visible to all?
Yes.
Research is basically, we can say, the study of the subject, especially in order to discover which is already done in particular area or in a particular subject. And basically we can say that it is the efforts of somebody to discover new and collate that fact by the scientific study of the subject or by the course of critical investigation. That means what we are basically going to do under the research, that we are going to explore the new dimension of the subject which is already in existence. So any subject, any field, anything which is already in existence, by doing research, we are going to explore the new dimension so of that particular subject, so we can add more knowledge to that particular subject. So basically it is related with the systematic process of collecting which is already done in particular area, then editing and analyzing and interpreting the data to enhance the understanding of this particular subject. So simply what we can say, that if anything which is already in existence, I want to explore the new dimension of that by collecting that data which is already in existence. I will collect data, analyze, interpret data, and I will try to explore the new phenomena to the subject under consideration. So I can say that it is a systematic process. How I can say that this is a systematic process, that I can't start interpretation without analyzing. I can't go for the analyzing without collecting data. So one systematic process is followed under this activity. And moreover, this is also a controlled phenomena. The research is a controlled phenomena. That means we have to have certain boundaries of the research. If I will not put boundary for my research, I can go in any direction and my research will not bring fruitful result out of that. So that means it is a controlled phenomenon. And who is going to set the control for this? Basically, the researcher himself or herself is going to set the controlled boundaries, controlled environment for the research in which that particular person can pursue the research. And next is empirical and critical investigation of the hypothetical proposition. That means hypothetical mean what is already in existence. I am going to add something new. That means I am believing that something more can be added to this particular subject. So before analyzing, before interpreting that, that is just a hypothetical proposition given by the researcher himself or herself, that this more can be done in this particular area. That is mere assumption. And so we can say what this research is. Research is the study of the subject which is already in existence by following a systematic process in the controlled environment along with the hypothetical proposition, so that we can come out with the new phenomena of the subject under consideration. So here one thing is, one thing is different from the scientific research. Here I am talking about mainly from the research that something is already in existence. But when we talk about from the point of view of scientific research, it may be possible that something is not in existence. So when something is not in existence, when some researcher or some scientist is going to explore the dimension in that area, that will be a part of discovery, discovery by the scientist itself. And suppose when recently we have gone through the this COVID situation. So COVID we heard for the very first time in India, when we heard this, and the doctor faced the patient having this problem, and the vaccine was uh, evolved or discovered in order to deal with such a disease. So that was an entirely new phenomena which was experienced by the economy. So we can say that that is a type of exclusively new research or experiment which was conducted by the scientists in the field of COVID-19 to come out with the vaccine so that they can deal with this problem. So when we talk about this overview, research, we can simply can conclude that it is a systematical reading and understanding the information and adding to the current body of the knowledge by understanding what has currently been done on the topic in the particular area. Now the next thing is researchers. Researcher is in a layman language, researcher is just who is doing something new every time. We have seen in a home that our elder are trying to explore new area of doing something, some activity in the routine part. That can also be a kind of research. But if from the point of view of scientists, from the point of view of professionals, research are researcher are those people who specifically invest their time and efforts to discover new knowledge, and they are moreover curious individual enjoying finding out of new information. This means they already know something which is already in existence, but they still work on that to come out to increase the knowledge about that particular topic. So everybody who are there in this FDP, they are researcher because they are going to put their time in this FDP to learn about what are the fundamental of research and what could be the particular research ethics in this area. So all we are which joined here are particularly in the category of researchers. Now another thing in this case is research quality. This is very much important because if we are investing our time effort, but if out of that time and effort we are not getting something quality, something qualitative out of that, that will not serve the purpose of the research. So research quality, although it is very difficult to access, but we can say that once the researcher work is evaluated, once it is accepted in the society, once it is published in a good journal, then we can say that the research quality is carried by the researcher is having a good quality. Now, research orientation. This is very much important. When we talk about a researcher, there are so many type of researchers: social science researcher, professional researcher, day-to-day person, human being. Everybody is doing research. Even in a living being, non-living being, everybody every time they are doing something. If they are trying to put their time and effort to do something new, that means they are doing some research. Now, this orientation, this is very much important. That what with what orientation we are going to have a research. What I said in the very beginning, that it is a kind of systematic process operated under the controlled environment. That means who is going to set the control? The person who himself going to conduct the research will set the controlled environment. Now, how that person will set the controlled environment is entirely based upon what is the orientation of the researcher. Means with what orientation the person is going to conduct the research, that will set the boundary of the research. And this is very much important ingredient of the research. And also it is required on the part of researcher that researcher should have first research orientation, clarity about the research orientation, who and for which that is going to conduct the research. First orientation is positivism. That means whatsoever research we are going to conduct in any area, it is whether it is a new thing we are going to do, or a already existing area we have which we are going to add new dimension, we should have a positivism orientation. Means we believe that a single truth exists that can be explained by a law like casual generalization. Knowledge is objective and is based upon the observable and measurable fact and interrelationship. It can predict the behavior. Positivism orientation say that we assume that whatsoever we are presuming, that is the only single truth. That means we are believing that there whatever we are having assumption to conduct the research, these are truth. That means I am not accepting these assumption in the form of a null hypothesis. Generally, what we do that we prepare the hypothesis in the form of a null, that there is no significant relationship, there is negative relationship, there is no significant output. So here what we can say that a single truth exists. That means whatsoever I am presuming to in order to form the objective, that should have some positivism in that, so that I can predict the behavior of the variable very well. Second is critical realism. That means this is specifically about trying to study the relationship of antecedent and their causes. What are the determinant and what are the causes and effect? That means critical evaluation. That what is my orientation, that I am going to critically evaluate any particular variable that in or subject or something which is already in existence by looking at both the side, that what are the causes of this, what are the determinants of this, and what are the possible outcome of that. That will be the critical realism. It is something different from the positivism. In the positivism, I am thinking that there is nothing like negative. A single truth exists. That means whatsoever I am presuming to conduct in the area of research, that is having a single truth. But critical realism is the reverse of that. That means whatsoever I am presuming, I am not determining or considering it as a positive truth. Rather, I am going to critically analyze by considering the current scenario, situation, or anything which is available recently in the market, or in the area of research, that what are the variables which can affect the situation or my assumption. Third one is pragmatic orientation. This is very useful for the researcher. Like in this case, what we can say that it is a combination of something which we done in a two: positivism and critical realism. Here, knowledge should be relevant and useful to the practice. Researchers should provide solution to the practical problem, and it encourage a variety of methodological approaches. Here basically pragmatism, what we are going to apply new and new methodology to test that what we can come out of that. That means by using some we have variety of methodological approaches. So we apply one by one all these approaches to see what could be the solution to the practical problem. what technique can give me the best possible solution so that I can go ahead with my research. Interpretism, here the here what we assume that the context is important and knowledge is thus subjective. And here the more focus will be on the variety of explanation and interpretation. Now, this is very much important to see that interpret. When suppose I have a data, I have a result, I have so many techniques, I will collect the data and by applying those techniques, I will get the result. Suppose if two-person are sitting or three-person are sitting, one may interpret in one way, other may interpret in other way, third may interpret in other way. This is a variety of here. What we will take the variety of explanation on the analyzed data. That means I am not going to analyze my assumption only one, rather I am going to get the so many interpretation about my result and will try to have more in-depth understanding of the problem, and then I can come out with the most possible solution for my problem. And the last one is post-modernization. Here researchers are encouraged to be the reflexive and examine dominant discourse and reveal the hidden meaning. Here, what I am going to focus upon that nowadays what happened that if we will get the variety of interpretation, we have so many methodological techniques we can apply upon one collected data. So what we can take the most possible best solution out of the interpretive result, and the remaining which is not best suited, that can be hidden by the researcher, that may not be disclosed. Rather in future that we may realize that whatever we that was hidden in the research, that may be more important than that of what we disclosed. So this is what happening in this approach. So these are the basic research orientation with which the researcher conduct their research, and this will basically set the boundaries of the research within which the research will be operated. Next one is the process. Now this process is basically to set what kind of steps we are going to follow in case of research. Here, first step is problem and opportunity identification. Like what problem and opportunities are in the field. Generally, what we say that the research is conducted when we have problem. No, now the time has changed. We can also conduct the research when we have opportunity. That means when we are going to explore the opportunity, instead of going directly in the market or to go for the lab to do the experiment, we firstly see whether that opportunity is really in existence or this is mere a fake border which is coming in the front of our eyes. So gone are the days when we conduct the research only for the problem identification. Now for the opportunity when we have, we try to explore the research. We will try to do the research in that area to decide whether the opportunity already exists or not. Second is mainly the business researcher or the scientist may have some kind of problem, or they may have some opportunity in particular area, then they will go for the research. Now the another question in this case is who will conduct the research? The person who is facing the problem will conduct the research. The person who is going to grab the opportunity will conduct the research, or the person who is hired by that person will conduct the research. That means there may be two parties also. Suppose if I am a person who is having any problem, or I am suppose a person who is having business, so I have a problem in my business, so whether I will conduct research myself or I will hire some outside consultancy organization or some outside researcher to conduct the research on my behalf. So in the second step, decision maker and the business researcher meeting is necessary. That means who, suppose if I am going to opt for the second situation, that means I am not going to conduct the research for my business myself. Rather, I am going to hire somebody else for the research. So I want to have a detailed, in-depth meeting with that person, so I can let him understand that these are the problems, these are the things which I am facing, so that the other person can conduct or can set the boundary of the research accordingly. And the third step in this case is defining the management problem and subsequently the research problem. So here the problem audit required in the third step. Sometimes what happened that we simply face problem. Suppose I, as an individual, I as a business person face problem. I hire some outside outsourcing agency to conduct a research to solve my problem. But once they analyze that problem, that is not actually problem. That is not actually a problem, because once they will explore the problem, they will conduct the audit of the problem. This is very much important. Audit of the problem. We heard about the audit of the accounting business. We heard about the chartered accountant who will conduct the audit. We heard about the government audit. But here the role of the problem audit is most mainly important, because sometimes happened that something which I am facing it as a problem, sometimes which is I am looking it as an opportunity. That is not a problem actually. So here the role of the problem audit conduct come, and the specialized organization or the specialized institution who are going to conduct the research on the problem on my behalf, they will see whether that problem is actual problem or just a fake problem. So defining the and here if they will find my problem as a real problem, then they will convert that problem into a research problem. That means what is the problem, where is the problem, how it can be resolved, what can be considered, what are the antecedent behind this, what are the outcome of this. So they can put so many my problem into the form of a research problem. And the fourth step is formal research proposal. This will be prepared by the organization by considering the various dimensions of my research problem. And here they will set the theoretical model construction, framing the research question, developing hypothesis. For example, here I will give one example. Suppose if I want to see uh, suppose if I am carrying my own trading business, and I want to see why my sales are decreasing from the past year. So, in comparison to the past year, so the my organization who is going to conduct the research in on my behalf, they can see the various dimension, like what was the number of customer in the previous year, what were their choice, what were the different segment of age people available in that particular area, what were the particular area what I target in the last. So they can put like so many things behind that why my sales of the business are going decrease as compared to the previous year. So they can put some dimension, they can frame theoretical model that this could be the possible reason behind this, that because of that the sales are decreasing. And before going to the five step, that is approaches to the research, I would like to tell you that these steps may be carried by the person himself, if that person is a researcher for the problem himself, or if that person is not a researcher for the problem himself or herself, they can take the help of the organization or the person who are specialized in this area. Approaches to the research, again, these are although theoretical subjects, but can be get more clarity when these will have some practical experiences, because here the role of mainly data collection, data analysis will come. We have so many types of approaches of research. Under this, we will see what type.
Madam Ruchita.
Hello.
Yeah, madam, you are not audible.
Am I audible, sir?
Now
Hello.
you are audible. Previously, you were not audible. Now you can continue.
Okay. So next thing in this case is that we will see that what kind of univariate technique on analysis, whether we are going for the univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, or multivariate analysis. In case of univariate analysis, our focus will be only on the one variable. That means we are going to consider only one variable at a one point of time, and I will see what could be the possible outcome out of that. In case of a bivariate analysis, my focus will be on two variables simultaneously. That will consider whether X is causing Y, or Y is causing X, and whether having X is having effect or Y is having effect. So this kind of analysis will be bivariate analysis, in which I will consider two variables together in order to see what is their relationship and what can be come out of that. In case of multivariate analysis, we use so many analysis technique in which we will consider the independent variable more than one. So in that case, we have so many other variable also. It may be environmental variable, it may be controlled variable, it may be dummy variable, it may be anything which will be added more in order to enhance the quality of research or complete in-depth understanding about the research. So this vary from researcher also very much important. Next is the interpretation of result and presentation of the finding, that whatsoever technique we have applied, we got some result out of that. Now we will go for the interpretation of that result and interpretation, and then we will present in a form of that it can be understood by the other person, like for whom we are conducting the research. And the last one will be the management decision and its implementation. Like whatsoever research is conducted by the independent research in this area, that will be communicated to the management, so that management is the ultimate authority to implement that decision. So they are just they will take the help of the finding which is given by the researcher. However, the final solution will again lie in the hand of the management whether they will implement. So this is the complete structure of the process which is followed in all type of research. Like this is a uniformity of all these steps, that these are followed in all type of research, like problem identification, opportunity seeking, then we will define the problem, then conversion into the research problem, then types of approach selection, then collection of data, field work, data preparation, data entry, data analysis, interpretation, and the final implementation. That so these are the steps which are mainly followed in the research. So out of this, what here in this slide, this slide is just you can say there's implementation of the previous slide. This in this case the problem is being that mean here the problem is being narrated in this slide, that one company, civil aviation company is there, and their civil aviation contribute to the society a lot, and this is basically with respect to the airport infrastructure facility which are taken by the Airport Authority of India. And this is mainly example of this, that they took some loan from the government to carry out their activity. And once they took their loan, because the loan will carry the interest amount, and the loan amount will they will put into some project. So what I am going to tell you there, that whatsoever loan they are going to take, the pre-research is being conducted in order to see that whatsoever loan amount is being collected, how and where and to what extent they can utilize to cover their interest expenses and principal amount at the last. So the pre-hand research is being required in the particular area. That means this is what we called it as a research in action. That means any problem in any business, they require the pre-research pre-research in order to see what can be what can come out of that in future, so that whether they should actually go for the loan or not. Next is this the objectives of research. Objectives of the research. This is very much important, that for what objective we are going to conduct the research. First one is propose and test certain hypotheses that provide causal relationship between the variable. That means I am going to conduct the research in order to just test my pre-laid assumption. And for that, for testing those assumptions, I would like to have the relationship test. So many tests we have there. We have t-test, f-test, correlation, regression. So many things are there. We can apply it in order to see whether my pre-laid assumptions are correct or not. Discover and establish the existence of relationship, association, and independence between two or more aspects of the situation or phenomena. Depending upon these two or more aspects, I can fall into the category of this bivariate analysis or multivariate analysis. Understand the different phenomena and develop new perception about it. study and describe accurately the characteristics of the situation, problem, phenomena, services, group, or individual. Explain unexplored horizon of the knowledge. That means I am going to add new on the particular area of knowledge. Next is test reported finding conclusion, and last one is to study the frequency of the research that is connected. That means this is mainly a type of conceptual research in which I am going to study only what is conducted previously in the particular area in research. Now, we ingredient of the good researcher. Ingredient of the good researcher, that what a researcher should have in order to see, in order to categorize into the creativity. The researcher should be creative enough. Creativity is the phenomena of the person. It is basically a combination of generating idea and validating those ideas. That means how a person is creative, that is determined by that how I will generate idea and how I will validate that idea in my research in the particular area. Creativity is also involved to be a pre-innovative process. Creativity is something which is preemptive. That means whosoever will be the creative in the research, that will have preemptive capability to generate more idea and to validate that particular idea. And moreover, creativity is something which is going to add more value and quality to my research. So if I am more creative, I can add more expected essence to my expected outcome of the research. In this case, when I go more toward the creativity, I can have one thing is creativity by nature or creativity by creation. Like creativity by nature, I can say that which is inherent creativity of the person concerned, and creativity by gaining from the society, from the researcher already in this area, that can be a gained creativity or scientific creativity. And basically it will help into the new idea formulation, new empirical formula discovery, new methodology formulation, and it will help me to observe each and every step or process of the research in good, and at the last it would help me in adding more quality to my research. Next is, when I go for this creativity, it may be work group creativity also. Suppose if one person is very creative, but that person will not have faith on the creativity of itself. But once the teamwork is there, suppose if that person will come into the group, so that can out of the group they can use their creativity in a more good way. For example, if a child is alone, sitting alone, and he is very good, very, very creative, and he is being taught to do something on a painting or a art, but the kid will not, or a child will not feel like to do that activity. So but suppose if that kid or a child will put into a one group where everybody is doing some like creative work like artwork or painting work, so that creativity will come more out of that when we are having in some group. So creativity, I can say, is very much important for the researcher. Creativity will help me to get into the problem, come out with the best possible solution of the problem. And creativity can be my own inherent creativity by birth. It may be gained from the society also by some training or by some work group, etc. So in all, creativity is very much important ingredient for the research. Next is verbal communication. Verbal communication is also very much important ingredient of the researcher. In this case, the researcher should have capability to communicate. A person who is very much creative, but not able to communicate properly with the other dimension, then in that case, the creativity will not bring more result if the creativity is without verbal communication. And the third one ingredient of the researcher is domain knowledge. This is very much important that in whatsoever area the researcher is going to have a research, the person should have a complete in-depth knowledge of that domain. If that person is not having the knowledge about that domain, that will not add to the quality of the research or researcher. So the domain knowledge is also very important. Next is written communication. It is also very much important if we will get the output we will interpret that output, then we need to get it into the understanding of the other people concerned, other stakeholder concerned. It is possible only when we have strong verbal and written communication. Consistency and patience. This is also one of the ingredient of the good researcher. That means we should have patience when we are going to collect the data from the society, from the sampling unit or from the respondent. We should have patience when we are going to collect the data, and rather we also maintain the consistency in our behavior or consistency in the pattern of collection of data. That is also very much important. Then only we can conduct the good research. And the last one is dedication and commitment. This is also one of the ingredient which is very much important to conduct the good research. And dedication is also required when the individual researcher is there, or if one complete team is doing the work, then that team dedication is required, team commitments is required in order to conduct the research. Next is types of research. We have various types of research depending upon the we have applied research, descriptive research, correlation research, experimental research, etc. So I will go one by one with the linkage. So first, I will start with the applied research. Although I mentioned it at the last, but I will start first with this applied research. Applied research is something which will give immediate solution for the specific problem. As I already gave one example of the COVID. When there was a situation of COVID, we everybody immediately rushed to get the problem solution. That what could be the possible solution of this COVID? Like Ayurvedic people or those who are the believer of the Ayurvedic, they said some ginger or green tea or like this could be the solution. Those who are a believer of the allopathic, they go for some other medicine like this medicine can work, that medicine can work. So applied research is basically the research which is conducted in order to get the immediate solution. And immediate solution is based or require with the density of the problem, with the suppression of the problem. That what this problem is. Suppose if any problem is there which I can tolerate for some time, which I can bear it for some time, then in that case the immediate solution is not required. But any problem which is very much suppressive in nature, which is very much degree of that problem is very high, then in that case the solution should be very immediate. So in that case, if research is conducted, that type of research is known as applied research. And this duration of this research, the beauty of this type of research is that the duration of this research is very quick. That means we require very quick solution to the problem. And this is what we called it as applied research. So this type of research is mainly carried by the expert in the particular area who can get the solution to the immediate problem. Otherwise, it may lead to the devastating effect of the problem if the immediate solution is not provided. So this is very much important type of research, that is applied research, which require complete quick solution, and is time bound solution is required. And it is basically by for any problem which can be faced by the industry, by the society, by the government, or by any stakeholder, but require immediate solution. Next is descriptive research. Descriptive research is mainly used in case of a social problem or business analysis. This type of research does not have any control over the parameter or variable. That means we can't exercise the control over the parameter or variable. So this type of research is mainly descriptive in nature. That means whatsoever is previously exists, we are going to describe that uh, problem only. For example, to study the socio-economic characteristics of the resident of the particular community during a certain period of time. Suppose if I am going to describe the characteristics of the resident of the particular area. So the residents are already residing in that particular area, but I am going and they have their own characteristics. If I am simply going to describe their characteristics for the certain tenure, that will be mere descriptive research. So next is analytical research. Analytical research is mainly, we can say that it is when we use existing information to explain a complex phenomena to have a critical evaluation. Analytical research means critical evaluation, that what are the causes behind this problem, what could be the outcome of this problem, and what could be the possible solution in order to resolve this problem. This is what we called it as an analytical research. And basically it is summarize and evaluate the idea in historical research. For both fitness and literature side, document can be used. That means existing data can be used, possible or data can also be collected, and I will going to critically analyze the problem in case of an analytical research. Correlational research is mainly focus upon the relationship or association. Correlation, as the name itself says, it focus upon the type of relationship or the association, whether strong association is there, whether positive association is there, whether negative association is there. So this is a type of correlational research. Like I may collect the data in order to establish the relationship between obesity and modern lifestyle, so employment and availability of technology. If I am going to see the relationship or association among the two variable, this or more than two variable, this is a kind of correlational research. Next is a qualitative research. It is mainly based upon the parameter which cannot be quantified, like we have loyalty, honesty, religion, or expertise, or these type of variable behavior analysis. So these are the variable or the areas where we can have the qualitative research. Quantitative research is mainly the reverse of this. In this case, we can analyze each and every quantity of the characteristics divided or into the various quantitative parameter. That means I can convert those variable or characteristics into the quantitative form. For example, in this case, by finding the number of individuals taking benefit of the different government scheme, different surveys which are being conducted, who is your favorite food, what is your favorite food, what are the favorite areas. So which can be quantified in this case. Experiment research is basically conducted in the field of science, in which we will see what drug, what specific group of people, animal, living being, non-living being, even plants. So this kind of research is being carried in the category of experimental research. Basically, it is carried out by the scientific researcher in order to see new medicine, drug, animal, plants, or any new medicine or any new medicine that can be used. Explanatory research is just to find out the reason behind the occurrence of the particular phenomena, whereas exploratory research is to give attention or for checking the possibility of the research in the particular domain. So we will explore the new domains or the functions. So these are the basic type of research. Mainly the basic research or applied research are the main research. Basic research is the research which is fundamental in nature, which in which the solution can be avoided for a particular tenure, but applied research where the immediate solution is required, so we immediately rush in order to get the solution of the problem. That is a category of applied research. Even research is very much important that our government or the countries across the globe, they are working for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, that is also being linked with the research. Like we have no poverty, zero hunger, good health, well-being. These are all the sustainable development goal which are given by the government and which are widely acceptable. These also require research. And these are basically also linked with the research also. So whatsoever grants or funding nowadays the governments are giving, they are mainly linked with all these goals, so that how these goals can be achieved in the near time. And for this we need to have the recognition of the problem, possible areas from where we can get the response, and we can analyze and collect the data and interpret in order to get the solution for all these problems, and we can achieve the goals. Next come, since this is related by the government in the various areas, the here the role of the ethics is very much important. Now we are going to add more dimension to this, that fundamental of research is basically meaning of research, process, ingredient, quality of the researcher we have already covered. Now we will go and explore the another thing in this case, what are the research ethics. So when we go with the research ethics, Here we can see that this word is basically derived from the Greek word that everybody knows, that ethos, person, character, or nature, or disposition. Now, another thing in this case is morality. Morality is very much important. That it is also derived from the it is derived from the Latin word moral, which means custom, manners, or character. So these two go side by side. These are two synonymous, we can say. But the thing is that one lead another. If we are moral, then we will be ethical. If we are ethical, then we will be moral also. So here is a debatable fact that whether we should go for the morality first or ethics first. But these two terms are basically regarded as a synonymous. And one who is moral, having moral value, good manner, character, that is bound to have the good ethical ethics. And next is research ethics. This is very much important. When we talk about in our day-to-day life, we should have discipline, manners, custom to deal with everything. But when we talk about this research ethic, this is very much important because the research ethic refers to a complex set of values, standard, and institutional scheme that will have to constitute and regulate any activity. That means research ethics, in case of a research ethics, we have to have some values having standard and some schemes and the complex set which we are going to follow. Like whenever I am going to formulate any problem, whenever I am going to select any research design, sample size, selection of technique, writing of the result, interpretation, writing of the final report, I have to follow the specific standards or the scheme which are given for the conduct of the research. If I will not follow, then I will be in problem at later stage because everybody should follow the research ethics nowadays. Otherwise, it will be a problematic also. So when we go for this research ethics, the main focus will be on the principle of the research ethics. This is very much important. If we will follow these principles, that means we are following the research ethics. If we will not follow any of this, that means we are not following the research ethics. Now, the first one principle of non maleficence. It says that we should not cause harm to the participant. This is very much important. Suppose if I am going to collect the data from anywhere, from any respondent, from any plant, or from any animal, from any area, anything, from anywhere. If I am going to collect the uh, for data for my research, I should not cause harm to that particular participant or particular unit in particular and people in general. Means from where I am going to collect the data, I should not cause any harm. If I am going to conduct any harm to that particular entity, subject, or unit, that means I am not doing following ethics in the research. Next is principle of beneficence. It said that I should, whenever I am going to conduct the research, I should have a positive contribution toward the welfare of the people. That means I should always have in my mind that I am going to contribute positively toward the benefit of the society at large. So this is the principle of beneficence. That means I should not focus on the benefit of I, rather I should focus on the benefit of we or benefit of all at large. This is, if I will focus upon the benefit of large, then that means I am following the ethics in my research. Third one is the principle of autonomy, that give the right and respect or dignity to the participant or unit from where I am going to collect the data. That means complete autonomy or freedom is being given to the participant to participate in the research at the time when I am going to collect the data. That means I should not put my own if and but. I should not put my any conditions or classification on the participant to collect the data. The complete freedom is being given at the time of collection of data. And the fourth one is principle of justice. That means benefit and research of the research should be fairly distributed among the people. Justice, that means whatsoever area I'm going to conduct the research, definitely it will have two sides. One is the cost side, benefit side, and the benefit side should be more than that of the cost side. That means I should give justice not only to the decision maker who hired me for the research, not only to the one particular team who is conducting the, rather to the society at large. I should work for the justice of at large. If all of these principles are being followed in the research, that means research ethics are being followed properly. If any of this is missing, that means I'm not following the research. So in all the principle, what is the common element? That is all. That means all, for the benefit of all, for the benefit of society at large. So in this case, it is possible when we have, when we talk about all, that we should have respect for the individual, respect for the group, respect for the institution. If I have only one word, that is respect for all the segment of the society, then in that case I can actually follow all these principles. If I have respect toward others, respect toward the society, respect toward the institution, respect toward everything, then all these principles can be followed in a good way. If I will not have a respect, then there is a more chances that that any of this principle cannot be followed in proper. If these principles will be missing, then there will be a chances of unethical practices in the research. Now, these are the just few fundamental questions that every researcher must ask before conducting any research. That means, what moral principle guide my research? How do ethical issues influence the selection of the research problem? How do ethical issues affect how the design, sampling procedure, and so on? What responsibility I owe toward the research subject? For example, I have informed consent. This is very much important for any informed consent, whether for any project, for anything for which I am working to conduct the research, whether the informed consent of the participant or the stakeholder is there in order to conduct the research or not. What are the ethical issues dilemma which I can face while selecting the problem? This is very much uh, relevant and true for all of us, because whenever we are going to start with the research, we face so many dilemmas like whether this will happen or not, whether this will go in this direction, whether I should do like this, what I should do, where I should go, from where I should get. So many why, where, when, how, either or, neither nor are available. So all these dilemmas are very much important. But before addressing any of the research step, like identification of the problem or process designing or data collection or data analysis, I should see what could be the possible ethical issues or dilemmas at particular point, and I should resolve at that very moment. Otherwise, it will not be possible to conduct my research in a good way. Last one is, will my research will be benefit to those participants to do the study. That this already I told you, I should not focus upon I, rather I should focus upon we and all. This is very much important, because if I will focus upon only on I, then my the chances of my research will not be more ethical. But if I will go for the at large, that what would be the benefit of my research to all the participants, then in that case this will be more ethical research. Research ethics apply everywhere. From the first step till the last step, research ethics apply, from the selection of the research topic, conducting literature review, framing of the research question, research design, methodology, tool, participant of research, data collection, data storage. So at every step, uh, we need to have some consideration of the ethics, that this is right or wrong, that should be properly followed in order to have the research ethics and in order to have a good research. Uh, if at any step I will not follow the research ethics properly, then in that case, the chances of my subjectivity will be there, and then there will be problem at the later stage also if the ethics are not followed properly. So these are the, I can say that the ethics applies to each of the process, which the process we discussed in the very beginning in the fundamental of research, that the process of research, the research ethics applies at each and every step of the process. And since if we are following, this is just a few data figure which we took from the Samago This shows that the total documents which are going to publish year by year going to increase in a significant number. Just see, when we focus upon the quantity, then the quality suffer. This is the main phenomena. So see that from 1996 to 2022, there is a huge rise in the number of documents, published document and their citation also. So there is a there is a chances that the research ethics are not followed, which I will tell you in the later slide. This is just the research paper published in the year 2022. This is, see that here the India is at the third number, and even China surpassed in the here. United States is at the top and China is at the second. But in the year 2022, the China took the first one place in the number of published document. So just see that how many number of huge quantity of publications are being found published in every sphere. So when such huge research documents are published, then there is a more chances that the research ethics are being overlooked at any point of time. Because everybody, just because to get the this promotion and API is being linked, and a yearly system, we need to follow the requirement of the minimum number of publications. So then in that case, in such a hurry, there may be chances that we will overlook the principle of ethics or any steps which is being followed. And by considering this, the we have higher education regulation has given higher education institution regulation 2018, which promote work for the academic integrity and plagiarism. So when we go for the more publication, there is a chances of not following the principle of research ethics in proper. Then there will be a more plague. If more plague will be there, then there is a chances of more uh, that our research will work will not be acceptable. So now the rules are very much strict. If we will not follow the ethics properly in our research, then we will have these problem like plagiarism up to this 10% is acceptable, up to 1% similarity index, then up to 40 to 60%. Only no penalty is in case of a level zero. That means up to 10% of the similarity index, then there will be no penalty. In rest of the cases, the penalty will be imposed, and this will be imposed by the Department Academic Integrated Panel, and they will see and evaluate the each or individual cases where the ethics are being not followed, and accordingly they will impose the penalty. This is the Integrated Panel Committee, one chairperson. Although it is not required in this case, but still I would like to tell you, because if ethics are not followed properly, then there will be chances of punishment for all, and accordingly penalties are being imposed in case of a if this is in the case of a thesis or dissertation or research publication also. In all the cases, mainly we have seen that up to 10% similarity index is acceptable, and rest of the cases it is not acceptable. These are the few cases of violation in which the when the ethics are not followed, then there was a problem. And when this case was happened in way back in uh, long time back, but when it was exposed, the person was moved from the director position of the institute. Mainly, what I would like to focus upon, that research is very much important. Research should be carried in an ethical way. Research should a process is being followed in the research. At every step of process, we have to have some ethics which are required to be followed. If we will not follow ethics, that means if at any later stage these will be discovered, then we will be debarred to conduct the research, or we can be removed from the administrative position. So research is not an easy task to do. Research is a very complex or a critical thing which we will do, and we need to have the complete ethical consideration we need to follow. In that case, otherwise we will be in problem, as in shown in the many cases. With this, I would like to say thank you to all. If any query or question is there, please you can ask. As this is mainly the theoretical consideration, we can get to know much more about when you will go for the practical in this area. So if any question, query, or doubt is there, you people are highly invited. Please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Uh, any queries from the participant sides? Any queries? Okay, no query. So thank you so much, Dr. Ruchita Verma, ma'am, for the session. Neha ma'am, please join. So thank you so much, Ruchita Verma, ma'am, for their session, a good session, and thank you so much for their busy. You give the time for their busy schedule, and thank you
Thank you,
once
ma'am.
again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Thank you.
Next section will be started at 1:30. So please join on time.